Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was
President Obama back in 2015 in what was a beautiful and wrenching moment as he was eulogizing the victims of that racially motivated mass murder at a church in Charleston, South Carolina. The service in late June capped off what our next guest calls 10 of the most eventful days in the history of the West Wing, starting with those horrific killings and ending with the Supreme Court's landmark decision to legalize same-sex marriage nationwide. How does he know what went on inside the Oval Office? He was there, and he wrote many of the words etched in our minds forever. Joining us now, former chief White House speechwriter under President Obama, Cody Keenan. He's the author of a new book entitled Grace, President Obama and 10 Days in the Battle for America. Thank you very much for being on the show. Please tell us what happened during those 10 days that most people don't know about. What happened behind closed doors?
Yeah, at the time, you don't know it's going to be this 10-day period. We actually began we were preparing for the Supreme Court decisions on marriage equality and Obamacare, and we had to write speeches for every possible outcome. And then on Wednesday, June 17th, there's this horrific mass shooting in Charleston. And you slowly get the details. We get them a little faster because we had direct access to the FBI, and you realize how terrible it is. And then the president has to decide, whether he's going to give a statement. That was really a given, but then he really has to decide whether or not he's going to give a eulogy, and that was not a given. So over those 10 days, we're writing about 12 different speeches, my team and I. And through it all, you're thinking about, what does it mean to be an American? Are we going to decide whether or not gay people can get married like the rest of us? Whether or not working Americans deserve health care? Whether or not black Americans can be safe in society? Whether they have to walk past the Confederate flag every day on their way to work? And it all just kind of coalesced in this extraordinary 10 days.
Cody, good morning. Congratulations on the book. I'm curious, as you and the president sat down to write that speech and the decision that he was going to go down to Charleston, where do you begin? It's such a massive problem that spans hundreds of years going back, but looking forward to the future as well. That's the first part of my question. The second was, when was the decision made and how was it made that the president would sing Amazing Grace in that absolutely extraordinary moment?
Yeah, he didn't even decide to give a eulogy until about the 6th day of the week. And at first he didn't want to. And that went back to in 2013 when Republicans of the Senate blocked a vote on background checks with the parents of the Newtown victims looking on. And that was about as cynical as I'd ever seen him. He said, I don't want to give another eulogy after a mass shooting if we're not going to do anything about this. But it was when those families down in Charleston, the families of the victims, forgave the killer on live television, that kind of changed everything for the week. And he said, if I do go down there and speak, this is what I want to speak about, the concept of grace. So we started working on a speech. We both kind of ran out of words. There's a kind of a heated meeting in the Oval Office where we were deciding whether or not to speak. And he said, I have nothing left to say. Do you? And I said no, because we'd written way too many eulogies at that point. But we just kind of muddled through, and then the president, as he often did, saved what I had written. He actually tore up the back half of the eulogy and rewrote it himself longhand. I had written in just the phrase Amazing Grace. He decided to add the lyrics and built the back half of the speech around that. And then when it came to singing, that morning, Friday morning on the 10th day, he spoke in the Rose Garden after the Supreme Court found a right to marriage equality. And then we took the helicopter to Andrews, and just before he got off the helicopter, he said, if it feels right, I might sing it. And wow. I just looked up at him and said, okay.
Wow. So it was relatively spontaneous. That's an amazing story. So I think people are interested to know, Cody, you started with Ted Kennedy. You worked in his office. Jon Favreau, who was President Obama's chief speechwriter, kind of recruited you into the White House. But you really have become, including on his memoir, President Obama's right hand. What is that relationship like for you? How do you help him to sort of write his own story, in essence?
You know, I did learn it all from Jon Favreau, who had spent time with him in the Senate even before he ran for president. They kind of worked on the worldview together, but it's a collaboration. And that's one of the most important things President Obama taught me. You're not just writing for me, you're writing something that I can work with. And on our best speeches, they were collaborations where we passed 4, 5, 6 drafts back and forth, each one becoming better than the last.
So Cody, congrats on the book. And I'll just say that speech, arguably that president's finest moment. We should also note your daughter named Grace.
Yeah.
Talk to us, though, about writing for and with the nation's first black president when it comes to matters of race, which loomed, of course, in that Charleston shooting, but in so many moments during his presidency.
It's extremely difficult, and I'm very honest about that in the book. You know, I was always very conflicted about being a white chief speechwriter for a black president, especially in moments like that. But fortunately, our chief speechwriter really was Barack Obama. And I'd sit down with him before every speech saying, what do you really want to say here? What's the story we want to tell? And, you know, with Charleston, he would take it to a higher place.
And then tell us the other moment that day, beyond the eulogy, the celebration of the marriage equality passed by the Supreme Court. What was that moment like, to write something that was, you know, viewed as such a triumph?
Euphoric. You know, and we learn about it. We learned about it while watching cable television. You know, we don't get a heads up from the Supreme Court, so we'd be watching MSNBC, and I just heard like hoots and hollers coming from around the West Wing, because we had a bunch of gay colleagues who suddenly found out that they could get married like the rest of us. And I had just gotten engaged at the time, and my wife and I were really happy about it because it finally felt like our marriage would matter even more.
We have just scratched the surface of this new book. It's titled Grace, President Obama and 10 Days in the Battle for America. Former Chief White House speechwriter Cody Keenan, congrats on the book. It's great to see you. Thanks for being here this morning.